Hey, this is Renee, and this is your Up Late update. It is 11:11 on the West Coast, 1:11 in the Midwest, and 2:11 on the East Coast. If you're up late, thank you so much for joining me. I am still working out technical difficulties for some reason. As you can see, my camera lags. I am trying to figure that out. Have not yet done that, but it will happen. So let's get started on tonight's broadcast. So I work in the cannabis industry. And since I work in the cannabis industry, I have a lot of friends that have lots of different opinions. And one of my patients today was talking to me about the world that we live in today. And he brought to my attention a post that was going around about the US aid that our taxes pay for. So this guy right here, his name is Chairman Brian Mast, and he has came up with a list of things right here that he is just really upset about. And I wanted to go through that list and go ahead and fact check him tonight because I feel like there's a lot of people that just throw around misinformation and nobody really fact checks a whole lot of stuff. So to begin, the USAid typically goes to some American things, but a lot of foreign things as well. So, economic development in other countries, humanitarian assistance in other countries, health crises or vaccines, medicines, things of that nature, peace and security. And then there's a list of other things that are just grouped together, like the environment and just different human rights groups, and education and stuff. So that is really what the USAid is supposed to go to. Now, of course, we know aid gets just thrown around a lot of times, and sometimes it can go mismanaged. And right here are just 10 things that are known, are 10 things that USAid have been known to do. So after hurricanes, they help out. They help out new babies and new moms. So, and that's going to be like, let's say that a person has a hard time during childbirth. It's the complications that happen before and after birth that they help with. Feeding the future, so stopping global hunger. Wildlife trafficking, which Donald Trump Jr. would know about. Fighting hunger. And the reason that I say Donald Trump Jr. will know about it is because he enjoys hunting. So he's probably aware that there are people that traffic wildlife. I'm not saying that he does it himself. I'm just sure that he's aware of it since he's a hunter. Fighting hunger is still kind of the same thing. There was something else on here that I thought was important. All right, so that's really it. It's going to be just trying to make good change happen. And we see that sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So I wanted to go through this whole chairman's list and see what we can see is true and what is not true. Another thing, my friend had told me that Chelsea Clinton also received $84 million from USAid. I looked up a lot of different sources and I cannot find where they're getting this information from. I did see that the USAid did donate a large amount of money to Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea's foundation, which is the Clinton Foundation, but it didn't specifically go to Chelsea. So I'm not quite sure if they just like picked that out of thin air or what, but it doesn't look like what they were saying is true. And this right here, this is Snopes, Snopes. It sounds weird when you say it out loud, but that's like the sometimes they come up with like false information and then they kind of make it into like a parody. It's also become like a fact checking website though because we need that in this era. So this just says that the Clintons do get money from USAID, but it says right here they had not been given more than 7.5 million to that foundation between the years of 2008 and 2024. And then it also said that on Chelsea Clinton's tax return, she didn't receive any compensation whatsoever from her foundation. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure where they're getting this at. it's kind of one of those things that it just starts, it's like a fire. People add fuel to it and then it grows into something that isn't even true. Before we get to this list of things right here, I do want to tell you a couple of other things that have been happening. So today there was this weird meeting in the Oval Office where Elon Musk was standing next to Donald Trump as he was sitting down. And a lot of people have been saying that we damn near have President Elon Musk and President Trump in office because it seems like they're going, they're in this together. It's like whatever Elon wants, Donald Trump is just like, you go for it, buddy. And even one of my friends on Facebook today said that he wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk tried to run in 4 years. And who knows, maybe Donald Trump would be the vice president. So then he would still stay in power, which would just be so crazy to me. So Elon Musk is the one that's in charge of trying to eliminate all of this excessive funding that we have. The problem is, though, is that he's hurting large organizations that may be more helpful than hurtful. And the first organization was the USAid. Now he's actually coming after the Department of Education. And what they're saying with the Department of Education is that he wants to cut the funds by $881 million. Now, some Republican governors have switched their schooling from public education to school choice. And school choice is the voucher program, but the problem with the voucher program is that it usually goes towards religious schools. And back in the day, one of our founding fathers said, hey, we want the separation between state and religion. Apparently, they have just thrown that in the trash and they are trying to make it their own new era. So, they are saying that they're going to slash the Department of Education and they're going to get rid of different contracts that the schools have. And one of those contracts that they said that they're going to target is um, the ones that are helping students understand and integrate the complex histories involved in oppression and help students recognize areas of privilege and power on an individual and collective basis. Now, I'm not quite sure why our government so badly wants to erase American history and just try to whitewash it into this Candyland fairy tale, but they do. And also, Doge announced that it's going to cut 29 training grants for diversity, equity, and inclusion worth $101 million. Now, Black people are not the only people that benefit from having DEI programs. There's also a ton of other things that qualify under the diversity, equity, and inclusion bill. So, not quite sure again why they are so set on doing this, but they are. When they really should be set on canceling all those legacy scholarships that they have. You know, there's a lot of colleges out there that if you have a parent that went to that college, you will get favored over other students no matter what your grades are because it's like the legacy. They want to keep the people that have already been in there in there. And I feel that that's much more biased than trying to have it so you can test properly, but also have a certain amount of students from different um, classes and races and things of that nature accepted, but not on like just like I said, just because you know somebody who knows somebody, then you get in. So they're cutting USAid and the Department of Education, which is definitely not great. And I saw this today, which was absolutely insane to me. Trump is telling Ukraine that it will only continue to help them if they decide that they want to give some of the materials that they have in Ukraine to America. And once this loads, I'll tell you exactly what they want in return for our military help. I also read that Ukraine may become Russia if they do not follow this type of deal or this type of demand, which, like, what the hell? All right, so Donald Trump said we have to get something. We can't continue to pay this money. And in his interview with Fox News that aired late Monday, he said that he wants a slice of Ukraine's vast natural resources. And he said, I quote, I told Ukraine that I want the equivalent, like 500 billion worth of rare earth, and they've essentially agreed to do that. So at least we don't feel stupid. Like, what in the hell? And the elements that they want or the resources that they want are going to be minerals like lithium and titanium, and they also have a vast amount of coal reserves, as well as oil, gas, and uranium. So they want that in exchange for military help, which I understand, not giving all of this stuff to them for free. But I also feel like you're playing with people's lives when you do shit like this. Like, you are completely dismissing the fact that there are people that rely on our government or our government resources, and Putin wants this. Putin wants them to say, we can't give you this in return, so then he can take over their land. Just not a good deal at all, in my opinion. Not a good deal one bit. So Trump is demanding 500 billion in rare earth resources from Ukraine for our continued support in their war. And to be fair, he said that he would be able to end this war. And this doesn't seem like I guess maybe he will end it, because if they don't if they don't negotiate the right deal, he's going to say, go ahead, Russia, go over there, and um, we're not gonna intervene. And without our help, I'm not sure how much of a chance they have to beat them. Good news, there was a Russian prisoner that has been detained for 3 years, and he was an American. His name is Mark Fogel, and he is back in the United States tonight. He is a teacher, and he was caught with cannabis in Russia, and they ended up giving him, I believe, a 14-year sentence. Yeah, it was a 14-year sentence, which is just crazy. Um, maybe he wasn't serving a 14 years. My apologies. I might have misread this. Okay, I'm not quite sure how long he had been detained for, but he's home now, which is fantastic. So that's good. All right, before I get into this list, I'm going to pause this for a quick beat. I will be right back, okay?